good afternoon, and good morning to everyone. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone around the world, uh, men, women, children, people of all languages, people of all races, people from everywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's hot, but we're going to do this out here because we just had a storm here. And, earlier today, the weather, it seemed like the thunder was so bad, houses were shaking, thought that trees were going to come down. But it only lasted for 2 seconds and it passed, and we see this beautiful day. So I needed this shot because I wanted to take this of what this old bridge that stands behind me. And all these things from this, where this shot is taken, is going to have to do with the topic in which we're talking about today. So before we start, click like, subscribe, share, and as well as to the people of Facebook, good morning and good afternoon. A lot of stuff on the playlist, different things that we go through in life. And before we start on the topic, I want to give a thank you to the black youth from around the world, which is ironic, and I'm surprised that more adults aren't talking about it, speaking about it, who are black. What the youth has done with TikTok, they boycotted TikTok, and it's a boycott that has gone worldwide, where content, they just are not loading content onto it because they're realizing that their content is being stolen, rebranded, and given to someone who has nothing to do with the creative process of the material that these black youths have been submitting, as well as when I say youths, I mean anyone younger than me. So all the way down from the children all the way up. But the fact that you stood together to ban yourself from even submitting something to this venue says that you have outdone the black adults today, and for that I thank you. And again, I reach out to all the black content makers on YouTube, to spread this, because, we need to understand what that power of boycotting is. And speaking of boycotting, I don't watch Charlemagne the God. I don't watch Stephen A. Smith. I don't watch anyone who is of my race who puts down, belittles, or sells out. I just don't listen. And like I said, I don't listen to entertainers who do nothing except, promote violence. I've gotten away from all that. So how does that tie in with today's topic? And today's topic is, are we living a lie? Are you living a lie? And in parentheses, I have, or are you a part of it? So bear with me and let's get into this, because at the end of it, we will be surprised, and it can promote change, or just a different way of looking at situations. So today we are discussing, are we living a lie? So this discussion is based on our reality, how we deal with deception, and how we accept the truth and process the truth. So let's get into it. All humans mature through realization. Now take for instance a bad relationship. You try and you try, you do your part to make it work. Then one day you realize that it's not you, that the relationship, no matter what you do, is gonna make anything better. So you come to the realization, and then you walk away from it, or you make the steps to get away from it, whether it be upon agreement, or by divorce, going into court and processing things, or just the good and bad of separation. So either way, you wake up and you got to get out that situation. All right. Now we're going to take another example. Being told that the rise in birth defects and illness has nothing to do with toxic waste in the drinking water. Then one day, all the people get together and say, you know what, we're being lied to, we're being deceived. So let's go and grab a sample of that water. Now you see why I'm standing next to the water. But let's go grab a sample of that water. Then they find out that everything that they told, people that they respected, people from all over, from the highest of offices, lied to them, deceived them. So now they start the process to say, let's go after them legally, holding them accountable for their actions. But yet and still, it doesn't change the lives that these people destroyed. So let's take a third example. Now, we attend schools to learn a history, to learn the narratives, which is meant to educate, enhance, and build us to be productive members of society, and adding to the value of the future of mankind as a whole, or humankind as a whole. Then, once we finish school, which is 13 years of our lives, now this is going to be key, 13 years of our lives. Once we realize as adults that what we've learned in these 13 years has nothing to do with adding to the future or value of society, we have to attend college or a trade school. So that's 13 years of nothingness, 13 years of bullcrap. But in actuality, it's 13 years of mind control, taking your children and brainwashing them throughout a 13-year period, and then saying to them, well, if you really want to get a good job, you got to go to college. No, you're going to college because that's where your education is coming from. Everything else is mind manipulation and brainwashing, which we need to take back and take control of our boards of education and our schools in order to make change. But that's a different topic, different subject, and for a later discussion. Okay, so 13 years, wow. You know, and then you got to go back to school and attend another 4 years or 8 years of school. That's 20 something years of your life that you are not living. You're not enjoying the full encompass of what life and living is all about. Basically, you're a prisoner. So, you know, hopefully we can wake up to these realizations. You know, for the people that these institutions benefit, they could care less. But if you really want to make change, know that these things are taking place. And just like I said, I boycott things that go against anything that has to do with bringing people together. I boycott it. And I encourage you to do the same. Even if it's one person, it still makes a difference. That's one less person that doesn't condone the attitudes and the behaviors that are dividing us and splitting us apart. So let's get back to, are we being lied to? And the reason for bringing this up is to show you how no matter the situation, the realization is the same. So I use 3 different examples, but the realization is the same. There's no difference in how we're going to feel inside and how we're going to react on the outside. There's no difference. And that's why I say, bring all things together, make yourself whole, because then you only deal with life in one way. Life is separating us, making us deal with each entity as something different. And there is no difference. That's the grand lie, you know, and they're using that against us because they understand it, because they promote it. So, and it's the narrative they put out there, and they'll stop any other narrative from reaching traction that goes against that narrative. That's the war that we're in. So the realization is the same. So today we are going to learn of the empowerment of accepting reality, deception, and truth, and to change not only our life, but also the world around us and the people that we interact with. So this begins with acceptance that we have been brainwashed. When we look at the first example of the relationship, you know, most people will say, you know, well, I cared about the person. They were the ones who lied. No, your complete relationship is a lie. Because if it's still not it's existing today and it's over, then it was a lie. It wasn't true. Truth lasts forever. So it was a lie, and we have to, you know, look at ourselves and accept this fact, because by accepting this fact, it helps us to change how we feel about ourselves, what our wants are, what our needs are, and what we expect from other people, which is time and patience. So we process and we go through finding a suitable person, you know, differently than what we've done in the past. So that's part of that acceptance. Okay, so the reality of brainwashing, manipulation, this is an algorithm that is still in full effect today. So, you know, most people, we're so filled up with pride, and pride is telling you, you've been brainwashed, you're easy to brainwash, you're easy to manipulate, but we have so much pride, we sit back and we say, oh, no, not us. Yeah, you are, because, you know, when banks, you know, swindle all the money from the people. Companies just up and move without notifying the people. But yet and still, you just went out and bought a house because you thought that you could outthink the game. And we're finding out that this is not true. So come back into who you really are in order to make, you know, not only your life better, but the people around you, make everyone's life better. So this algorithm, this brainwashing, this manipulation, and this propaganda cycle worldwide, it has control of our children. It motivates hate, it destroys families while promoting wars, and it keeps us dependent on drugs and alcohol and sex. While it exploits our women, it divides and gives people a false sense of worth, and it denies us a chance to change the world. And the greatest one that they promote is that they want world peace, but yet and still they do everything opposite of peace. So know that the people that we have entrusted, they've been lying to us from day one. But I'm talking to the average person, because there's average people that know about this, you know, and that's a little secret that they keep. But today those secrets are exposed, because we're holding you accountable too, because you know that this process is being learned. I mean, being projected, you know, to the world, but yet and still you're benefiting from it. And when I speak on that, I'm speaking about different organizations out there that really say that they want to help, and in actuality they are not. They're making our youth, our children, dependent on a system, not dependent on ourselves. So this goes for all races, not just mine. Okay, so these people, through their actions, they show at every corner that they do not want anything better. They want us to fight against one another. They want us to, do the things that we're doing to one another while they live in the best life. And like I said, I'm not talking about the people who have wealth that might own a few houses or anything like that. I'm talking about the super wealthy, because even the wealthy have to work. Another misconception. $150 million is nothing, because these people still have to work. The truly wealthy, they had never stepped a day on a job in their life, and they've never stepped into a business that they've owned a day in their life. So understand what wealth is, okay? So now, I want to leave you with this, all right? Let's go back to the bad relationship. Most people who had to walk away from a bad relationship will say that they love the person. So we had already discussed that, and not only by accepting that, our roles in things decisions that we make in life, we are, oh man, it's hot, not only will we understand, we'll also understand that by accepting, we will also understand our true needs, our true worth, our true value. And that's by accepting hurt and accepting pain, because those are the things that make us grow. You can't grow without it. If not, we're in denial, and we repeat the same steps over and over and over, continuously falling into misery. And I'm an example of it because, like I said, I've been single now, and believe me, it's not by choice. It's hard to find someone who, is on my level. Not to say that my level is great, but I would rather have love than to have anything else. I believe that love makes you wealthy, and I believe that love makes you happy. Not chasing after wealth, not chasing after, vacations and everything else, but the love that two people share for one another. That is the intention of what this earth is all about and what nature is all about. All we have to do is look at the animals, okay? So, again, we're less likely to project in our next relationship using time and patience and the growth of maturity in which we have all attained by accepting hurt and accepting pain and being able to deal with it. And understanding the lie. That's what's most important, because understanding the lie has to do with us, not what other people are doing to us. We have to understand why are we allowing these things to happen. And I'm going to explain the solution to that as well. So the world is living a lie that we have not only accepted, many people have embraced this lie, and we spoke about that earlier. The people who know how this game is being played, and they stand right beside you and act like they sympathize with you, and they know exactly what's being done to you, but will not tell you what is being done to you. So you're just as bad as the people that are out there that's doing this stuff. So, this is the reality we need to come into, to look at the person standing beside us, and when you get that inkling that, hey, you know about you're using the same tactics, that's how we grow. That's how things change. And because of the power, and they do this because of the power and the wealth and the control that comes from it. Most importantly, validation. Because we have a lot of, through this propaganda machine, it has made a lot of people weak, men and women, and all they want is validation, when you have validation within yourself. So what I want to leave you with lastly is that our power lies in what we condone, and I'm always going to use that, what we allow to go into our subconscious, what we program into our subconscious, as well as what we accept on an everyday basis. We can no longer just sit back and not say anything. And that's the example of a person who sits beside you, wants to sympathize with you, but in actuality is using that same manipulation propaganda thing to have an edge over you. All right? So we have an obligation to speak up and to become examples of this change, because when we understand the false narratives being projected into our reality, yet we stay quiet until it affects us personally, then we are also accountable to it. So, we have an obligation to this lie also. And like I said, the reason why I'm so happy that the black youth, they boycotted TikTok. You know what I mean? And that's what it's going to take for us to make change. We don't understand the full effect of what boycotts are, because they're using people within our own race to get people to give people an excuse to continue to follow this machine, to continue to follow the enslavement of propaganda. But the lie affects all races of people, because at the end of the day, we are losing lives to COVID. We are losing lives because of global warming. Again, last year I pointed out the forest fires that are burning. They're burning out of control so much that the smoke from out west reached New York City. The smoke from Oregon reached New York City. That's over 2,000 miles. So now if you think that, by us sitting back, ignoring, wishing things away, not trying to make things right while these, they're burning things and destroying the planet at the same time, But hey, we got social media. Hey, you have, you got a nice car. Hey, we'll print up fake money. But at the same time, these things are being destroyed around you. We all are accountable to it. So let's all wake up, because if we don't wake up, then these things will continue to happen. And like that old bridge that sits right there, I'm an OG. But the youth of tomorrow, we have to educate today. And the sad reality is that it took those youth to do something that the adults should have did. So it should tell us about how much fear we have as adults. But me personally, I don't have that fear. Bring it. So I'm going to do a topic on the TikTok situation. That's going to be in the next video. But I want to leave it to say to those, youths that have done this, oh wow, that's where change begin and continue to do what it is that makes change, because it makes change by doing the things that says, hey, we're not going to follow you. And for the adults, that's what we were saying, condone. We have to say, hey, we're not going to condone this and we're not going to follow this. But also, we don't play games with it and run back and forth to it. Like where we have television shows that go against, who we are as a people, who we are as a family. We have broadcasters that go against who we are as a people, and they project things that they want a narrative to show. And we have to stay boycotted from these people. Not sit there and say, oh, do you hear what she said, he said? That's not a man thing. And for us men out there, we have to become men again, and we got to make a stand. So with that, everyone, have the most beautiful day. Have the most awesome day. Be the best person that you can be. And with that, everyone, peace and many, many blessings.